Hey everyone, welcome to Nick's Corner. I'm Nick, wearing my wizard robe, and I'm in the corner. Today we're going to talk to you about Stephen King's The Green Mile. This book was very interesting, and my second Stephen King book. I seen the movie long ago, and one of the reasons why I started picking up King's books is because I like most of the movies that his stories are based upon, so I figured I would try and dig into his stuff. I made it through this book in 2 days. So without further ado, let's get into the review. So after finishing it, I asked around what to read next for Stephen King. A lot of people told me The Green Mile, as it's different from his regular horror stories. And so I picked it up because it was cheap and I was not disappointed. King shows his amazing skills as a writer. He definitely loves using supernatural elements in his stories, and this book is not a horror at all. It is just supernatural drama, and it has like well fleshed out characters, and I thought that he did a fantastic job on this. Also, shout out to my friend Curtis, who sent me his audiobook version so I could listen to it while I read it, and that enabled me to finish it in just 2 days. We follow a prison guard at Cold Mountain Penitentiary named Paul Edgecombe, whose job it is to take care of and to execute the prisoners of the death row. We learn that some people are ruthless while others are quite simple-minded. So maybe not everyone deserves to be on death row, but they all are because they all have done something terrible, or we're just in the wrong place at the wrong time. We get to meet Mr. Jangles, or Jangles the mouse. He is a very interesting character. I didn't think I would ever care about a rodent as much as I did in the story. And we also get to meet the man-child, John Coffey. He has some supernatural abilities, which I won't get into, because if you don't know, you should read the book and find out, because it's quite interesting. And it's a fantastic story of a thankless job, of people having to be the best kind of people they are around the worst of society. And I found that he did a great job at showing compassion, as well as not being compassionate, I suppose, towards some of the other prison inmates. Now that I have it to compare it to, I found the story to be more coherent and more well written than what it was. However, it doesn't have that excitement factor. Like with it, I was turning every page really excited to see what's going to happen next. As well, there was that fear factor. But at the ending of it, it kind of it combined into like a big combustion, where I found this story with Paul and John both being very well fleshed out and very interesting characters, and the story is still so well written. It was just at the end of it didn't seem so exciting because I kind of already figured out what was happening, and I really enjoyed it. However, I think that is going to affect my star ratings. Although the book is a fantastic telling, the excitement just wasn't there. But the enjoyment was. So let's move on to the next part. This book moved along at a fantastic pace. I was entertained to the point where I finished it in 2 days. I listened to it on audiobook, and it was the first time I did a book on audiobook. I read about a third of it in the hard copy, and I listened to the rest of it by the audiobook. The narrator was fantastic and a little spooky. He kind of talked a little like this. And he did so many great voices for each character that it was very enjoyable to sit and listen to. The parts I did read was also very enjoyable and page-turning. I definitely would say that this book is extremely enjoyable. It's very short, so it's a very quick read. And it's a fantastic story. It is really, really good. The more Stephen King I read, the more I find I'm enjoying his voice. I find him interesting in a very broad scope of reasons. He can entertain me on a 1,000+ page book, and he can entertain me on a smaller format as well, with different genres. So I'm definitely going to be exploring more of him. His voice is very strong, especially in The Green Mile. You can tell that he is writing a fantastic story, and you can tell just how much work and thought he's put into it. And I really love how The Green Mile ended up. So, did he achieve his goal? Let's find out. I feel like this book was supposed to be 4 short stories that was brought together to make a novelization, because at the end of each part, it seems like the story is completely finished compared to where it started, and I really enjoyed that. It kind of it closed off each section as you read it, and I thought that was fantastic. And like the satisfaction you get from each ending just made the whole book that much more enjoyable to read, and I think he achieved his goal just by being able to give us a great story, like one of the best stories I've read, just story-wise. For recommendations, I think if you don't like horror or you're not sure about Stephen King, I think this book here is a fantastic place to start. It's not a big book, so it's easy to consume. It's a very coherent story from beginning to end with fantastic characters. And I just feel like anyone who really wants to see what Stephen King is about, I'm gonna find out for you which books are his best in my opinion, but this book is definitely one of the best books I've read, and it was a great story. And I think that if you enjoyed the movie with Tom Hanks, you'll definitely love the book. If you haven't seen the movie with Tom Hanks, go read the book and then watch the movie. The movie is fantastic. And the book is just as good, I think. I think that it's just as good as the movie, so they're on even playing fields. Do with that what you will. This book was awesome. It was a great look into lives of guards and inmates in the 1930s. It seems that Stephen King did his research. I'm a huge fan as to see the difference between the compassion and contempt between the prison guards and the inmates. And I love to see how everyone was treated differently in the story. As well, I love the fact that old Sparky, the electric chair, is almost a character of its own. The way he speaks about it. And I have to give this book a solid 4 stars. All day long, it's almost perfect, except for I wish there was some more excitement going on. That way I would have been probably giving this a 5-star, because it's so well written, the characters are well done. It just lacked a certain oomph, and I 4 stars all day long. It's a great book. Highly recommend it. And I think everyone, if you're not a Stephen King fan, go check it out. You might become a Stephen King fan because it is well written. Everyone, thank you very much for coming to the corner today. I'm sorry I've been a little out of it. I'm sick today. I hope that you all enjoyed the video. Please like and comment and subscribe. Let me know what Stephen King books I should read next. Anyway, everyone, have a wonderful day. My Instagram and Goodreads will be down below. Have a great day. Bye.